Okay, it's recording. Perfect. All right, so everyone, I am Bugz. I am the Vice President of Operations here with the PolyCon2021 network, which includes BSC Times as well as PolygonTimes. I am joined with me today with Jordan and Brian from PolyDoge. So if you guys would like to start by introducing yourselves as well as your project, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
guess
Brian.
I'll go first. My name is Brian Sage. I am a creative director and the head of events at PolyDoge, and this is my colleague
Jordan
Jordan.
Charters. Yes, yes. So thank you so much for putting this panel together. I am the head of networking, gaming, and esports for PolyDoge. And PolyDoge is the #1 community coin on Polygon. We have several different people that hold our coin. They use it in DeFi on different farms that are quite popular across the whole ecosystem. We're also building play-to-earn games. We have our game called Dogequake, which you can actually play Quake, and for the frags that you get or the kills that you get, you earn PolyDoge. So we have that live, and then we have about 4 other games that are in the works right now. We also do a lot of different things in NFTs. We actually had an NFT collection, a 10,000 series PolyDoge cards that sold out within 3 hours. And we're creating a game from that as well. So we're looking for every type of way that we can create use cases for PolyDoge and be the friendly Doge 3.0 of the Polygon network.
Awesome. I checked out your website, and it's honestly so easy to navigate, and I love your color scheme and just the whole, like you said, just branching out to all those different areas to continue to be that #1 community coin on Polygon is really exciting, especially for investors and just people overall transitioning into blockchain, and just how can you entice people to want to learn about your project. And I think you definitely put forth a strong community as well as a strong presence within Polygon.
Thank you so much. You hit on something that's really important to us, and that's bringing people into the crypto world, and investing in our token is definitely a great way to start, especially on Polygon, because there are many different places where you can use it for DeFi and learn how to make passive income, off of your investment as well. So that's something that's really important to us.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything else that you would like to add about your project, or we can just transition on to the actual Polygon 2021?
I think one big thing that we'll just hint at, as we're getting on, to talk about PolyCon 2021, is that we have an entire events department that we're completely developing and innovating and iterating on, and there's going to be many ways that anyone that holds PolyDoge will majorly benefit from the whole system that we're building there.
It's just one more of the ways that we're trying to diversify PolyDoge and be able to offer so many more things than just a token that you can hold. Trying to add all these different sort of elements and different avenues that people can engage with the token itself, and then build this community that kind of crosses a lot of different areas across the crypto sphere.
Yes, definitely. Brian is exactly correct about that, and we're just looking forward to the future of PolyDoge. And just to let anyone that's listening know, our roadmap is we want to be here as one of the foundations of Polygon for 5 or 10 years to come. So that's definitely our vision that we're looking forward to building.
Absolutely. So going into the future and kind of and especially your project, how did Polygon 2021, like where did the idea of that come from?
I guess I'll start with that just because it initially was an idea that I kind of thought of because on the Gamer Jive system, I actually had run a few or helped them with a few of their events. And so that's how I was introduced to that metaverse. And I kind of thought, I was like, how amazing would it be if we could get everyone within the Polygon, community and get them to come out and, be together and have fun and play games and have AMAs and panels and, get to know about projects that maybe you don't really know too much about. That was another one of our focuses with PolyCon, and I'm sure you noticed that we had several projects that not many people have been introduced to, and so that was a great way for us to showcase the amazing things that they're doing and help build the community and build the projects that are building on Polygon. Now, so that's kind of we saw so many amazing things that were happening with with the Polygon ecosystem and how it was growing so fast, and we wanted to have a place where we could celebrate all that together. And I personally, being the head of networking for PolyDoge, I've worked with tons and tons of different projects, and I was like, how it would be amazing if we could all get in the same room together and collaborate, network, and just have a great time.
Well, and then too, Jordan, I think this idea, it happened really quickly. It wasn't too long ago that this idea actually came about, because I myself kind of came into this just right there at the end of June, beginning of July, just over the summer. And this PolyCon event was one of the first things Jordan talked to me about with regards to things that he wanted to do and be able to possibly pull off this year. If we at all could make it happen. So it's also an idea that is very, very new, like within 6 months or so. Am I right, Jordan?
Yeah, that's correct.
Like 6 months ago that you had that idea.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing too. It's just something that's kind of come out of this year, as Jordan said, as we've been seeing so many things happen on Polygon and all these projects coming together. And kind of building sort of this world out, and it was a pretty amazing idea that Jordan had, seeing that there had never been, never been an event like this, and that we kind of had an opportunity, if we wanted to, kind of get out in front of that and kind of be the ones that could kind of develop it.
Yeah, thank you. It came together so fast too. So once we had the idea, we kind of just we did a test event which was called the Olympics watch party. So we had an Olympics watch party where people could come watch the Olympics together, and this was during the Olympics for 2 weeks, and we tested it with some of our partners with PolyDoge, and had a great time. We had about roughly 370 different attendees that showed up with that one. We did some cool like PolyDoge medals that we dropped to everyone that attended. You could get like gold, silver, or bronze, and you had like a certain percentage chance, to get either one. And those particular NFTs are going to actually have utility in our play-to-earn games that we're developing right now, which is pretty cool. But we after that we were like, okay, so what do we do next? And Brian and I, decided like let's try to do PolyCons. Let's see how it'll pan out. And it took us about probably 7 weeks from the time of like, let's do this and let's start working on it, to the time that the event ended.
Wow, that is incredible. Just like your whole process, hearing it, because sometimes when you get this ideas of just hosting something as large as, PolyCon, there's just so many logistics that you have to, consider. There's so many just the timing, like when is it going to be the best for everyone? How much is it going to cost? What is all these factors that go into something as big as this, especially when Polygon hasn't experienced something like this before, the ecosystem. So something that benefits everyone. I can't even imagine the amount of pressure and also the amount of excitement that comes from taking on that responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, we that 7 weeks was, whew, was a
It
lot
went
of work.
it went by really, really quickly.
It did go by quick. One thing that definitely we didn't foresee as much when we first started out and ventured to say, okay, we're doing PolyCon 2021, is how many meetings we would be having at different times, where different time zones and everything like that. Like there were several times I was up at 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, working with teams, because that was the only time that we could go over things to get them set up and ready to go for PolyCon. And so but it was a lot of fun, and we got to meet so many amazing people during the process, and we created a very, very strong relationship with Polygon. And so that was probably one of the major highlights of putting this all together, was working with the Polygon team and their marketing team and their gaming and NFTs team, and really getting to know them. And so that's really amazing, because that will help us with future events that we want to do. And I'll make a hint here. Polygon wants to do events with us, more events just like we just did. So we'll be announcing some of those in the near future here.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Such a great sneak preview into things to come. So in terms of Polygon, the event spanned over 3 days, right? It was from September 16th through September 18th. Can you share the number of attendees overall?
Yeah, so the number of attendees overall is around about 1,300 over the 3 days. And that was, in Zone A and Zone B, across the, the event itself, which, we actually were expecting, more than that, but we did find that there was 2 huge conferences that were going on at the same time at that time frame, and we didn't know that when we first kicked off our planning for this event. So we still feel it was quite a great success, and we had so many people that were saying, wow, this is the best $10 I've spent all year, because the tickets were $10, and then you got that NFT ticket that Colin Paris, which is one of our NFT grand wizards, put together. And then we had music that we were able to get from a really amazing artist in Canada to put into the NFT. And so we really wanted to step our game up for this particular event, and so we tried to add as many activations as we possibly could.
I think one thing too, with regards to the attendees that we had for the event, was another thing that we ran into as well, is that everybody from around the world wanted to attend the event, but for some people it was very inconvenient because of the timing. And so we played around with times here and there. And like Jordan said, I mean, sometimes we were up in the middle of the night doing, meetings with people on the other side of the world because it was a little more convenient for them. And then sometimes they were up late because it was convenient for us, and back and forth and stuff. And so I think one of the things that we kind of ran into here as well was that some of these different teams and people who wanted to attend, sometimes it was in the middle of the night for them. And so it wasn't the most convenient thing. And so it's one of the things that we've kind of added to our list of things to look at in the future of, we want everybody around the world to be able to tune in and to be able to come to this, but how do we make it so that we can, so it's not in the middle of the night for everybody, or it's not like too early for this person, but too late for that person, type of a thing, and kind of like find an equalizing sort of footing there with the time zones type of a thing as well. But overall, I think, very successful with regards to turnout. And in fact, like Jordan said, we were expecting maybe just a little bit more, but I think that we did pretty good with the turnout that we did have.
Yeah, time zones are always a challenge.
Totally.
Yeah. Especially when we were playing this, we're like, what time works best for you, and then scheduling just so the most attendees can show up. But it's always a challenge. So PolyCon was held virtually via the GamerJib app. So can you elaborate on the decision to host this event in that way, and how that affected how you designed the event? I heard there were 2 zones.
Yeah, Brian, you can go ahead and start with that.
Yeah, so Jordan kind of touched on just a little bit earlier that he had kind of been volunteering and working to help do these events on this system called GamerJib, which is a gaming platform that's actually built on Unity. And the event space itself is actually set up for virtual conferences. And so thinking about getting everybody together to be able to get us all under one umbrella, we of course needed, a venue. We needed somewhere to be able to host it that people could come. And so I think a lot of the last, year and a half, couple years maybe, a lot of people have been doing things similar, but they've been doing them, say, through like Google Meets or Zoom conferences and whatnot, which are great. Don't get me wrong. I've, how many of those have I attended the last year? I can't count, but we wanted to do something that was a little bit more, immersive for our attendees, and something that would be a little bit more engaging as well. And so looking at what the GamerJib system allows us to do, where, everybody who attends an event on their system is able to create their own avatar that they then can walk around through the event space, engaging with other people and with different activations within the system, almost like a video game. And so it's like I mentioned, fully immersive, and it gives you a totally different experience and a totally different feeling of connectivity with the other people that you're with. And also, it's a fully customizable system, so we can set it up to do lots of different things. In this case, we set it up to host an event, kind of similar to where, if you've ever been to an event like at a hotel, is kind of what I've been telling everybody, where there's sort of like a main ballroom, a main hub where a lot of the action happens, and then off of that there comes different rooms that are designed for different things. You've got expo halls where you can have vendors and sponsors with their booths. And then there's like presentation halls that are a little bit more of like an auditorium situation, where we can do keynote speeches and panels and AMAs, things like that. And then also there's a little bit more of like casual networking settings as well, like a party room and an outside patio that has different like outdoor games and things like that. And so looking at putting this event together and wanting to create an experience for people around the world that was new and unprecedented, something they probably hadn't seen before, and something that would be, I think, really interesting for no matter where you were in the world, and really engaging as well. The GamerJive app, the team over there, they provide that experience, and so I think it was a really easy decision for us to make, to use their system to be able to host this event.
Yeah, Brian really, hit the nail on the head. Another thing to note too is that I don't know if you got to see, Bugz, on the the post that was made by those three sisters that were able to meet, in the space. And there's like this psychological component to the GamerJive system where if you have an avatar next to another avatar, that you feel like you're in the same space together. And so that was another thing that was really attractive to us, is really making it so that you feel like you're really engaged and you're part of the community. And it's not, we've seen so many different events, like Brian was saying, where it's like a Zoom conference or Google Meets conference, and you're just seeing the 2D image of that person up there. And actually, there's some studies that talk about how that can create fatigue over time. Now, the feedback we've gotten from working with the GamerJive system is that people don't get fatigued because they're not necessarily having to watch several different faces at the same time. They're just watching, this avatar, right? Or you do have the capability to use voice and webcam, but the majority of people definitely were not using the webcams in the space. But that's something that is really interesting that we noticed, and we had a lot of people talking to us about, was like, hey, I like really felt like I was there with these people. I really felt like I was there with my team. I really felt like I was there on stage with these other owners of these amazing projects. So and that's another really great thing that we saw from the event, is that so many of the projects are doing collaborations and partnerships, and we've seen that across Twitter just from the event.
And to kind of piggyback off of that too, and touch on the other part of your question about the zones. So within the GamerJive system, you're able to create an event space, and sort of the default settings, they give you X amount of space in there that you can build out this world, that you can then have all these different attendees and people from around the world join. And there are just a couple limitations with that, because you do, with regards to what we were trying to do, where we were trying to put vendor booths, in all these different expo halls and be able to find space for everybody. We found that we had way more people that wanted to be involved, sponsors and vendors wise, than we actually had space for in the beginning with just one event space. And so Jordan and I had a big discussion about should we open a second space and be able to accommodate all of these people who want to be a part of all these different projects that want to be a part of PolyCon. And I think throughout this entire process, Jordan and I have kind of had this mantra of we all rise together. And so I think at the very base of that is sort of the idea of the more the merrier, right? And so we made the decision to open up a second space in GamerJive and build it out, essentially duplicate the first space with regards to the size and the scope, but then we'd be able to accommodate, twice as many vendors and sponsors, and essentially find a space for everybody. So the idea that we had in the beginning, as we were going along, kept expanding and expanding and expanding, just based on the based on the interest of everybody from the Polygon, network that we're working with. And so the idea then became, well, we don't just have, this one hall, this one exhibit space, we have the two. So I've been explaining it to everybody kind of, I live in Los Angeles, and the LA Convention Center downtown, it actually is in two different parts. There's a north wing and a south wing. And so I've been describing it to everybody that it's similar to that. It's like we started in the north wing, and when we filled that to capacity, we had to actually go back and open the south wing that we then eventually ended up filling to capacity as well. So we had sort of just these two gigantic event spaces then to house everybody. So which is exciting. It totally changed the dynamics a little bit with regards to the event, and then two, it made it just possible so that we could have that many more people join in all the fun.
Yeah, and then there was the challenge, right? Of we open up a second zone. Like how are we gonna make it so that everyone is engaging in both zones? And so that's why we moved. Like the AMAs and panels, we were moving it around the space, and I'm sure that people were able to see that, through the live stream. And then also we opened up the scavenger hunt that Crystal Finance, those spinning crystals that you saw, throughout the space, in the expo halls and in the main hall and, different areas that if you collected all of those, that you would get like a special NFT, which we're still giving out those NFTs right now from that data.
Yeah, the Gamer Jive space was definitely incredible. Just seeing the amount of vendors and just sponsors, and just being in like that one space, I can't even imagine if you were to do it in like an actual physical building, how crazy that would be. So being able to have like those connections, walking around with like your like decked out avatars, the ones with koalas or the mustaches, or even like those sunglasses, like you wouldn't get that in like a different venue. You got a chance to really, especially toward the end when there was the dance parties, like you wouldn't have that. So I was just blown away just by the fact that this app brought people together in a new, unique way, where gaming can happen, where those AMA panels, like you said, can go on, but also give people the freedom to, if they want to go over and chat with a project at one of their booths, to have the freedom to. So just like a regular conference. So I thought that was a really good choice that you guys decided to go with, especially with the vet space you did.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. We for all of the reasons that you just said is why we chose the Gamer Jive system there, and for all of the different new sort of virtual opportunities that provides. Essentially, you were at the event. I think a lot of people listening probably were there as well. Essentially, we had everything that you would do at a real life event, just in that virtual space. We had the vendor booths. You could go and you could look at all of their different marketing materials. You could connect out to their social media accounts, to their websites, all of that type of stuff. We had keynote speeches, we had AMAs, we had panels on different subjects that you could attend, that were also streamed out. We had an information booth, just like you would have it in a real in life event, and that's where people would check in with their tickets. And things like that could go for different answers to questions. I can't find this. Where's, where am I supposed to meet this person? This and that, the other, and stuff. But then also the aspects of the Gamer Jive system itself, like all of the different games within the event space that we were able to add to. A lot of people enjoyed the tournaments that we ran with the mini golf, the fish pond, and then the cornhole game that was accessible out through the tailgate patios outside. So kind of just like at a real life event, if you wanted to get some fresh air, you could step outside during PolyCon 2021, and there was, a patio. There was a space that you could still connect with people and network with people. And then outside, we added all of those different interactions, those activations, those different games. And then we had those games sponsored to where you could win prizes that were given away by our sponsors. So, and then you've got the different avatar customization. So just like in person at a real life event where, there would be branded T-shirts and merchandise and things like that. The Gamer Jibe system, their team is amazing. I can't say enough good things about them. Their artists were able to, make all of these different customizations for the different projects that wanted to be able to give away, something virtual that was a branded item. And so, the Gamer Jibe system allows us to do not only the stuff that you normally would do at an in-person event, but also adds these other fun little elements as well that are, I think, very specific just to a virtual event done on their platform. So lots of opportunities, and I think we took full advantage of all of that to be able to provide this just incredible experience to all of the attendees.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this, especially with an event of this size, the chance to really be together and network, like you said, that was extremely valuable in the long run, because like you said, there are some projects that some people just haven't heard of because they either just don't have that marketing push, or just it's hard to get started within crypto. It's hard to build those communities, but having a conference like this and bring everyone together in that space to talk about their common ecosystem, I think was so incredible that you guys were able to put that together.
Thank you. It's everything that we envisioned, for it and more. And we loved using the Gamer Jibe system for PolyCon, and they have a bunch of other features that are coming in the next few months that will even make it more Web 3.0 and more accessible, for like NFTs and being able to kind of like use that as marketing, and then also be able to have more customization of the space as well. So we are looking at building out some other events on that system.
It sounds really exciting. So right now I feel like it's just this is just an ad for Gamer Jibe. So let's kind of transition over.
They're gonna love that, Sonia.
A little bit to the actual agenda, the actual days of the event. So to get more into those details. So let's see. So each day's agenda was fully packed with a keynote speaker, various AMAs, panels, networking opportunities, like we talked about, games, and much more. I really want to hear more about the keynote speakers. Can you tell me a little about each of the speakers and why they were chosen, and highlight what each of them covered?
Yeah.
Do you want to take that one, Jordan?
Yeah, I'll definitely take that one. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just give you a little bit of background of how those keynote speakers came about. So, we connected with Polygon through one of our major partners, which is the Ferrum Network, and we started talking to them about, this is what we want to do. This is, PolyCon 2021. We want to celebrate all things Polygon, and showed them, our pitch deck and, the different projects that are involved. And so we asked them, we said, hey, do you have anyone that you think would be great, keynote speaker? In fact, we wanted Sandeep to be the main keynote speaker to kick off PolyCon 2021, but he was busy at that time. And so we got Ishan Negi, which is he's one of the heads of NFTs and gaming at Polygon, and I got to speak with him and hear his story, and I was like, oh man, this guy's going to be perfect for this, and really help to we wanted to make sure that if we were going to hold PolyCon 2021, that Polygon was going to have a big presence there. And so and that we were going to kick it off with someone that is significant, that has a lot of pull at Polygon. And so that's kind of how that happened. And his highlights, really are just really focusing on that the Polygon ecosystem is going to move toward, making sure that, gaming and NFTs are really on the forefront of their minds, to bring more users to the platform, and that, they're looking to, that Polygon's going to become, even more massive, even more powerful in the crypto space. And all of us that use Polygon on a daily basis, we know how amazing it is. We know how the transactions are fractions of a penny, and we know that there's so many great and amazing teams that are building, and even projects that are building that haven't even launched yet. And we would love for as many people to come to be a part of the Polygon network. And another thing you highlighted on is making sure that those on-ramps for adoption are a lot more seamless and easy to use. And we see that with crypto.com, right? So crypto.com right now, you can buy USDC, you can buy Matic, and you can push it right into the Matic network, which is something we didn't have a few months ago, which is going to bring a lot more users to the platform. Now another thing is Coinbase, right? Coinbase is working on their on-ramp right now, and I'm very bullish on the future of what Polygon can do. And I mean, you've seen even Sandeep just retweeted recently that I think we hit like 250,000 daily active users on Polygon, which is a fantastic milestone. Now, so let's go on to the next keynote speaker for day 2. That was Frankie Nines of Subducks. Now, I personally didn't know too much about Frankie Nines until I started talking with him, and then I learned how he worked with Dapper Labs, and how he's been a big player in the NFT space for quite a while, and so it was absolutely incredible to be able to have someone of his caliber, be one of our keynote speakers, and talking about where the NFT space has been and where it's headed. And I love his project Subducks, and if anyone here listening invested in Subducks when he was talking about the different new utilities, he's building a game on Polygon with Subducks. If you would have invested and bought a Subduck, I think you're up by like 4 or 5 times right now. Like the floor price went from like, I think just below 1 ETH, and now I think it's going to be hitting 5 ETH pretty soon here. It might even hit 5 ETH while we were talking. I don't know. But so it was just a real treat to be able to hear from him, and hear from somebody that's been there on the ground and has been working with so many amazing projects and celebrities, and he did V Friends with Gary V, and just knowing that he is, sees that Polygon is a place where several pain points within the crypto industry are going to be solved by using the Polygon ecosystem, and he knows that, and so he's moving a lot of the building and creation of his future vision for the metaverse onto Polygon. So that was just absolutely incredible, and it was amazing to be able to work with him. And he loves the Gamer Jive system, by the way. Like when he got into because the thing is, he didn't know very much about what was about to happen, and so the day of, before his keynote, we're telling him like, hey, this is where we need you to be so that we can get you set up, and mic check and all those different things. And he gets in and he's like, wait a sec, what? He's like, I'm giving a keynote as an avatar in a metaverse? Like, he's like, I thought this was gonna be on Google. And we're like, bro, it's so much better than that. Like, you have only scratched the surface of what's possible with this. And so that was that was really cool to get that validation from someone that is so well known and has done so much in the space. And so that was just really, really phenomenal. Now, our third keynote speaker, which is the CEO of GameStation, and I got to talk to him because with PolyDoge, we're doing a few things with that team. And GameStation is kind of creating like a hub for blockchain gaming and also incubating blockchain games. And they were looking. I started talking to them about 2 months ago, and they were looking for like, what chain should they start with? Where should they go? And I pretty much convinced them to jump onto Polygon, and they're going to be doing their IDO pretty soon here, actually, on Polygon, which is going to be fantastic. Now, the team and the investors that particular project has are just some of the top tier teams, like FOMOcraft, for instance, and Mantra DAO, and the Ferrum Network, and a few others. And so, as we've been working with them, I got to know their CEO, and he just has one of the most interesting stories about getting into crypto. And so I felt like on the third day he would just be a change of pace for the other speakers that we had. And he came from being a chiropractor, successful chiropractor, to being a marketing phenom, where he's helped generate over billions of dollars in revenue for companies all around the world, and then getting into crypto, and then now creating this massive hub for blockchain gaming and traditional gaming, because they're working on solutions to bridge that gap and bring as much adoption into blockchain gaming so that people can be able to make money and also actually own the assets that you're getting in a game. My background, like I'm a gamer, and so I've been gaming all my life, and I've played tons of massive multiplayer online games. I was one of the top players on Final Fantasy Realm Reborn. I pretty much controlled an entire server of 150,000 people, and all those different items. I love to collect the different swords and outfits and gear and all that. And it's like you have nothing to show for it, because at the end of the day, that company owns all that stuff, right? They own it all. And it's not like you can take it out and be like, hey, I'm going to trade my time, my energy, my resources, for actual, cash, right? And so that's one of the things that we love about GameStation. And so I just want to note on one thing about the CEO, Jason Kovar of GameStation. He's one of the most genuine people that you'll ever meet. And in his keynote, you could feel that. It was palpable. You could feel that he truly is there for the right reasons. He's not there to rug pull anyone. He's not there for pump and dumps, nothing like that. He is absolutely wanting to create a legacy and help bring as many people with him on the blockchain gaming side, and all the investors in the game station ecosystem. And so that's something that really hit me when he was speaking. I mean, I had spoken with him a few other times, but that keynote, I mean, and in every keynote that we had, it could have gone an hour or more, because these guys, really knew what they were talking about, and they were giving so much value to all the attendees.
Yeah, when you have someone who knows so much and is so passionate about, their project or whatever they're, backing, it's hard to cut them off. But again, it's like you have the rest of the day, so
yeah.
Sorry.
And that was one of the hardest parts for us was finding that right timing, and cutting off projects, either it was the keynote speakers, the AMAs, or the panels, right? And I don't know if you noticed, Bugz, but several of the panels, when we would move with the live stream, they would just keep going. They would just keep going. So, because I mean, people wanted to, ask questions and wanted to stay, because I mean, the amount of value and knowledge that was given at this event, I mean, is astounding. And we do have the recordings of all that, and we are working to get all those recordings out, so that anyone that wasn't at the event, or that was at the event and they were doing other things, you'll be able to go back and listen to all those keynote speeches, all the AMAs, and all of the panels.
Well, that's incredible. Yeah, I would love to go and, listen and re-listen to all those panels and just gain that, valuable knowledge that you really can't get anywhere else. Like, yeah, you can go to their Telegram, you can look at their website, but really listening to what people have to say, that can only be done in a few ways. And I think, especially given the structure of how you set up these AMAs, it was really easy for attendees to focus in on certain aspects of it, compared to just saying, go listen here, you have the option to listen here, but everything just set up in a really easy to follow schedule. Personally helped me when I came and listened in to a few of those AMAs.
Thank you. I mean, we have Brian to thank for that. Just to note, and tell you guys a little bit about Brian. Now, this guy is no stranger to events. I mean, he's done events with Kanye West and Britney Spears. He's done events with Stan Lee for Comic-Con in LA. He's done events with A360, Peter Diamandis. That whole entire events universe. And so, I mean, this guy is an events guru. And so, he's amazing. He's amazing. And just you wait to see what's coming. I mean, from what we've done with PolyCon 2021, I mean, the next events are going to be bigger, better, more streamlined, more activations, and we're just going to keep innovating, keep getting better at what we do.
I always sound so interesting when Jordan introduces me like that. But I think one of the things that he is sort of highlighting here, though, is that we didn't just want to throw something together and just sort of see how it was going to be. We wanted to bring valuable content, like we've kind of been talking about, and make sure that we had the right people, for the right keynote speech, had the right AMAs and a good mix of AMAs where we had, all of the Polygon network. We wanted to make sure that we had, a DeFi project, that we had some gaming projects, that we had NFT projects, et cetera, a little bit of everything for these AMAs. so that people could get an idea of, other things. They might know just about one project or one or two projects that are doing a certain thing, but then be able to come to this event and see, oh, here's, two or three other projects who are doing, same sort of gaming things, but this is sort of their perspective of it and the major things that they're doing. And then with the panels as well, we wanted to provide an opportunity to get a lot of different people together, heads of all these different projects, to come and talk about different topics that are a little more overarching. Things like securities with your investments. What are the future of investments in the crypto space? What is blockchain gaming going to look like? What does it already look like? What's it going to look like in the near future? And what's sort of like a long game with that type of stuff. Same with NFTs, what are these projects doing now? Like, what is an NFT, going to look like in 6 months, in a year? We talked a lot about like utility with these NFTs. So it's not only just a digital art piece that you can own, but also, you'll be able to use it to unlock certain things, inside of a game, things like this. So we wanted to be able to provide an experience for people that they would get kind of, I don't want to use the word overstimulated, but they would get just totally saturated with all things cryptosphere, and especially all things from the Polygon network. And so that was one of the, I think, tasks that I took on, was to, how can we structure this? How can we put together these daily agendas to where we can include all of these things that we want to include, but then also make it a cohesive experience, and also sort of like a progressive experience where, we'll start in one place, and then we'll start with a keynote speaker, then we'll progress to an AMA situation, and then progress to a panel, type of a thing. So I'm glad to hear that like people are really, really sort of enjoyed the way the day was broken up, because a lot of thought did go into this to make sure that we were giving everybody the right experience and the quality of an experience that we wanted. So
yeah, we wanted to really make sure that if people were paying $10, to attend this event, that they were getting $100 back in value or more.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That was the goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all of these, like you said, all of these, like the structure of everything's thoroughly planned out. You did mention a bit about tournaments and prizes, and I kind of want to go more into that, because as someone who may just be listening in and maybe did attend, can you kind of break those down and explain what the prizes actually were, and what kind of tournaments there were?
Yeah, so within the Gamer Jibe system, in those platforms, we have already mentioned, that we set it up to be this virtual event space, and you've got the expo halls and things like that, the main lobby where the information desk is and stuff like that. But within that world, there are all these different opportunities for engagement, all these different activations. And so within that world, we were using the tailgate patio, which includes a miniature golf game, a virtual miniature golf game, a virtual fishing pond, and a virtual cornhole beanbag toss game. And so, and then too, throughout the space itself, there is a scavenger hunt. And all of these things were customizable, and also you can track all of the data from the users of all of these experiences. So Jordan and I were sitting here talking about, the space. This was a few weeks ago. The space and what we could do, and how do we incentivize this a little bit, because we want people to engage with all of the different aspects of the event itself and whatnot. And we had sort of one of those brilliant lightning strikes moments, and it originated with Crystal Finance, and we'll use these guys as our example,
Yeah.
because we were sitting here talking about the scavenger hunt activation throughout the whole thing. And kind of the default setting with that is there's these floating stars throughout all of the event space that attendees can go around and collect. And once you've collected them all, you've essentially been to every single room in the space and essentially had the opportunity to engage with everything that the event itself has to offer. Well, we had one of those lightning strike moments of, well, what if we could customize those little floating stars and we could turn them into crystals? And they were floating crystals that everybody could collect. And then that way, too, we could have it sponsored by Crystal Finance. And then, we're like, we should talk to them and see like if they would want to give away a prize to everybody that collects those, collects all their crystals. And so in a roundabout, really like, in about the space of about a half an hour, we had the idea, we had talked with the team, we had found out that they had been using one of our artists to help develop some brand assets for them. And so they actually already had a crystal kind of like version that could work in the GamerJive system. And then we spoke with the GamerJive guys and they were like, oh yeah, that could absolutely work. And we can absolutely change those stars out and put crystals in there. And so that was sort of like the jumping off point, because then we were like, well, if we're doing this sponsorship with a prize giveaway for this one, well, we could do it with all the others as well. So we kind of looked at some of our biggest sponsors and kind of floated the idea to each of them, kind of to gauge their interest. Would you want to give away prizes? Would this be something you'd be interested in? And it kind of took off from there. So with the scavenger hunt crystals through Crystal Finance, they are giving away a special NFT that was developed in conjunction with our PolyDoge team for everybody who collected those. The Fish Pond tournament was sponsored by Polycat Finance. And since we thought it was really clever that since they have fish tokens as part of their project, that they would be the natural choice to sponsor the Fish Pond. And so the winners of the Fish Pond tournament would actually walk away with some of their fish tokens, which was really, really fun. Next we have the miniature golf, which was sponsored by the Ferrum Network. And those guys, I can't remember exactly what they're giving away. Jordan, do you?
Ferrum tokens.
Ferrum tokens, that's right.
Yep.
As part of their giveaway there. And then Cornhole, which is sponsored by Barbershop Finance. So all of the all the gold mustaches that you saw wandering around the event, those were from Barbershop as well. And they are sponsoring the Cornhole tournament, which they actually wanted to do real life giveaways. And so they put together these prize packages that actually are being mailed out to the top 3 winners, which is really kind of fun. And I think they're all sort of barbershop-y themed. So there's like beard trimmers and things like that. Mustache wax, fun combs, mustache wax, like fun things like that.
I love how everything came together. I was talking to Crystal Finance because they're the ones who actually, got us in contact with each other. And it's just incredible how, just the scavenger hunt, like all these sponsorships, and then the fish, the mustaches, and I continue to be blown away just by how all of this, everything just came together in this virtual space that essentially really works for, blockchain conferences.
Yeah, it definitely does. And there's actually a lot of different crypto projects that are starting to use GamerJive. One of the big ones is Gala Games. They use GamerJive quite extensively. Splinterlands uses them quite extensively. It looks like Unifarm is going to start using them. In fact, quite a few of the other projects that were at PolyCon are now looking at ways they can do events on GamerJive.
Yeah, I will definitely see more of this platform being used, and I'm just really glad that you guys got a chance to be one of the first to really, use it and show the Polygon community that it works. It's a great way to come together, and especially setting that precedent of here's a successful conference this year, and then potentially for the following years, you can essentially, since you guys are going to be doing more events with Polygon, how that can be even be more improved in the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One thing I'll hint at it. We don't have a particular date set, but we're looking at doing a Comic-Con with Polygon. So it'll be NFTs and gaming specific event. So that's one thing that's potentially in the pipeline, coming in the near future. And we actually have an event that's coming up that'll be on the GamerJive system, and it'll be marrying crypto and content creators and streamers. So there'll be several content creators and streamers. I think it's like 4,000 content creators and streamers from all around the world, and they're wanting to know how to get into crypto and how to use it to engage their fans and their audience. And so we're going to be bringing a bunch of, it'll be November 10th to the 13th, and that's definitely, it's called Loot Fest, and we're going to have a Loot Fest virtual experience. Now, it's really cool because this particular event actually has a physical component to it as well at the Luxor in Las Vegas. So they'll be having a physical portion of the event while we're running parts of the virtual event as well.
That's super exciting. So that's November 10th, right? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
November 10th to the 13th.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. So anyone that's listening, definitely be on the lookout. Now, everyone that did attend PolyCon 2021 will get a discount on their ticket as well.
Oh, even better. Yeah. So why not, go and just see what it's all about. So you talked about the future. You hinted at, there's nothing set, but I mean, you do have this other conference. But I'm sure people are wondering, will there be a PolyCon 2022?
That's the question on everyone's minds, right?
Yes, that's the whole reason.
As soon as we got done with this event, our Telegram channels were absolutely flooded with that exact same question. The conclusion that the PolyDoge team has come to is that yes, there absolutely will be a PolyCon 2022, and hopefully on throughout the future. As of right now, the date is a little bit, nothing has been set in stone, but we absolutely have plans to do this again. I think it was such a big, it was such a big idea and a big sort of daunting task to undertake in such a short amount of time. And I think the PolyDoge team would all back me up when I say that, that there was a lot that happened really quickly, and we're so happy that we were able to make it happen. But I think we need just a little bit more time, I think, to now take what we've learned from this event and to be able to iron out some of those wrinkles of whether they be tech oriented or, playing with agendas, this and that, the other. We have a lot of opportunities to kind of work all of this stuff out and provide an even better experience in the coming year for the same type of conference. And Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, man. I don't want to mess up your flow.
Do you know what? I lost my train of thought. I think that's probably
Oh no!
It's a good place for you to. No, it's okay. That's a good place for you to jump in. So
I just want to note, to everyone that's listening, we have months and months and months and months of prep time, for this for the PolyCon 2022. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's going to be so many more activations, so many more projects involved. Polygon will obviously be a major, player, in that. And then, I mean, yeah, we're looking at, expanding it up to, at least 10 times what it was, for PolyCon 2021. So, yeah, and we have the time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So much, especially like you said, working on, those ways to improve it, and, fix all those, small little issues that, are normal, that arise from such occasions. But I can't, yeah, definitely, in like in months or like even, just down the road, Polygon is just growing so much, and like you said, there's going to be new projects, new tools out there. Like, who knows what the market's going to do? So let's just let's just ride it out and see, and just go from there.
I mean, there's a project, and I'll just give a little bit of this alpha. There's a project we're working with right now that has the potential to add millions of new users to Polygon.
Millions. Wow.
Millions. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Millions of new users to Polygon, and and they have the team to do it, and they have the sponsorships and the funding and everything. And so, we're working with that team with PolyDoge. We're working with them on several different fronts, and we'll let everyone know more about that particular partnership in the next in the coming months here. But we're here to for all of us to rise together, everyone on Polygon, and we really believe that we have what it takes, and PolyDoge is kind of like one of those places that kind of brings everyone together, right? And so we're bringing all the projects together, bringing all of the resources together, and connecting, where we find those synergies that work, the best. And so, like for instance, PolyDoge, we know over 300 plus projects on Polygon, and so. Any projects that are listening to this, like if you want to get to know a project or you want to get in contact, we're doing that all the time. We create those introductions all the time.
Incredible. Yeah, I'm so looking forward at seeing what PolyDoge is going to do in the future, and where they take just the Polygon ecosystem. So is there anything else that you guys want to add or just reflect upon about PolyCon 2021, or just any last or final thoughts in regards to this event? Well,
one thing I definitely want to make sure that everyone that's a part of the PolyDoge community understands is that all these events, the revenue that we make from these events, a good amount of it goes to buybacks of the token, and then also in that one of those buybacks will be happening pretty soon from PolyCon 2021 revenues. And so just know that what we've created with this events wing of PolyDoge is going to be majorly beneficial for everyone that is invested in PolyDoge.
And I think one of the things that I would like to add here is just like such a big thank you to everybody who came and was involved in whatever aspect that may have been, to all of our sponsors and our vendors, and then of course the attendees, the people that that made the event really really take off. The people who were involved. I think it was an absolutely wonderful week. Each day was fantastic. There was so much going on, and there were so many people running around, and it was exactly the type of experience I think that we wanted to provide for people. And now we just want to say thank you for everybody for bringing so much quality to our humble little project and our humble little idea, and making it as successful as it actually was. And so
Amen.
Successful now that there's all these other things I think that we're going to see come out of this project, all different strategic partnerships that we've already heard are happening, not just with PolyDoge, but with with all the other people that were there and in attendance. So I think we're going to see major things in this coming year that have come out of this event specifically, which makes me so happy. But then also too, it's going to be amazing to have PolyDoge host another one of these, say like in a year's time, and see just how far we've come just in that short amount of time, and to be able to celebrate all those amazing things again in the same sort of space. So just a big thank you from the bottom of our hearts to everybody for making this just the best event that it possibly could have been.
Absolutely. We couldn't have done it without, all the sponsors and, the vendors and, everyone that helped out in this, and then all the attendees. Like there's no way that we could have pulled it off within 7 weeks, without them. And so, we're so grateful, and we look forward to what the future brings.
Yeah, very well said. I just want to iterate, thank you so much for sitting down with me and just chatting and just having this reflection, because sometimes, when you have an event of this size, you plan it, you execute it, and then it kind of just falls off the radar. It's just done. But I think what you've created is, like you said, these partnerships, this, growth, this, just the opportunity for just all the potential for Polygon. It's just something that I don't think could be done in a typical, you can network with people, but it's, again, all about who you know. Here, it's like you were in one space. You were able to chat with so many different teams. You got Polygon's backing. And now you're planning events left and right. And I'm just excited to see what you guys do as a team, and how just the whole ecosystem continues to grow. So I just want to say thank you for giving Polygon that space to be heard in this crypto world.
Our pleasure.
I know, you're just like humble.
Yeah.
Like, yep, yes, we did that.
Yeah, we just really look at it as, we're all in this together, right? We're all in this together, and we rise together and we fall together. And so we know the potential of Polygon, and we know the potential of so many of these great teams, and we get to link arms, and move toward really trailblazing, the future of what crypto is going to look like. And I really feel like Brian said, from PolyCon2021, there's going to be moments that we don't even know yet, where in the future someone will say, like, this big collaboration or this amazing thing happened because we met at PolyCon 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it all. So just to wrap everything up, I just want to say thank you, Brian and Jordan, for chatting with me today again. And if you would like to just in the chat, add all your socials so you know everyone knows where to find you, where they can find more information on the replays, the recordings of the actual and panels. I think that would be very beneficial to you know, people as they come and listen in on this, you know, podcast or interview down the road. And thank you to everyone who came and listened today. I know there was not a lot of you, but also 2 p.m. or PST time. There's tons of people sleeping. There's also people who are
Yeah.
awake. But it's totally fine because this is recorded and we are going to put it up on all our socials as well as promote it in a variety of ways. So thank you everyone for attending. And thank you for just giving us your time. So
Of course,
all right.
of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I
Thank
hope
you,
that you have a wonderful weekend. It's a great way to start the weekend. And yeah, we'll get those links out. The recordings will not be up just yet, but they will be on the PolyDoge website. So I'll make sure that people know that.
Perfect. Everyone will probably just be right on that. I know I will. All right. Well, thank you, Brian and Jordan. Have a good weekend, everyone. And just, you know, be safe, make good choices, and let's continue to thrive in the Polygon space.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Bye.